is up, everybody? Welcome to the Rushmore Show, where it's all about your top four and nothing more. Kirk, we are wrapping up our Super Sports Series just as our World Series is getting kicked off. And I think everyone in the world knows, even prior, doesn't matter what you're wearing, if they've seen this long enough, if they've heard you talk long enough, they know the team you're pulling for. I have no dog in the fight other than I kind of have a dilemma. I mean, the wrong LA is in, but Shohei's in. So it's like, where does my allegiance fall? I'm kind of pulling for Shohei to get one, but at the end of the day, whatever happens. It doesn't kill me either way. So
I kind of felt that you would have been the opposite, kind of a little bitter that he went cross town and was like, oh yeah, bump that. We're not pulling.
I hate it when it happens, but I can't deny that Shohei is probably the greatest player we've seen.
Yeah,
it's just,
when all this thing shakes out at the end, I think we're going to be talking about what I love about sports, and even our conversations with the GOAT conversation is with the advancement of technology and nutrition and all the other things. We are in an era right now of sports where we are literally watching the best athletes in the history of the world. I mean, and we get to, and then there'll be another Shohei, right? But we'll get to tell our kids, man, we got to watch that. And that's pretty cool.
Exactly. So we're wrapping up, like I said, our sports series. Welcome to everybody who is here. We have a couple people in the comments. Barry, if you're still here, hanging out. We had Las Cruces 1971 from New Mexico joining us. Welcome.
Hey, Las Cruces, if you're still here, we're out in New Mexico. I was stationed in New Mexico, and that was not my favorite time of my life. I'll just say that.
Yeah, DJ Wise here. DJ Wise was here. Then he says he's a replay crew. He says he just got off. He's got to go back at 4:30. So
yeah, I got to get that replay gang.
Blood Files here. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the show. As you can see, if you've read our description here or understood, we've got a recurring guest. Our second time? Second time? 2 times within the same exact series. I think.
Yeah, he jumped in as a fill-in, and now he's a regular. So
he bookended this series, right? Was he the first?
I don't think he was the first.
He was early. He was there a couple weeks
early, though. He was definitely early. Obscure Sports.
Yeah, that was a fun show.
We're gonna have a guy on that I wanted to reach out and be on sports. And before I asked him to come on, had no idea, obviously, that the Yankees would be in the World Series. So it works out perfect.
Well, here's the other thing I want to mention before we get into our show today. Speaking of sports, there's iconic moments that happen in sports, right? Like, we love our moments. And perhaps one of the most iconic moments was MJ's flu game. You remember that one, the infamous flu game? If you've followed this story history of the Chicago Bulls and MJ, the flu game that he played through. Well, we've got our own kind of version of the flu game tonight. Kirk, what's going on?
Yeah, man. So this morning, first class of the day, I'm a teacher, just started feeling a little yucky, and then kind of grind it through. Usually it might just be a restroom break or whatever it may be. And man, I went to go eat lunch, and I'm like, nah, I'm not eating. And the last half of the day was a grind to get home. And I spent like 2.5 hours soaking in a bathtub before tonight. And I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do it today because I hit 100.3 fever. And I had some activity going on. So we'll just say that. So good thing I don't have to wear my mask to talk to you via satellite. But Canon, here's this. I'm hoping it's just like a 24-hour bug. That's usually what it is for me anyways, or maybe some different food I ate. Because tomorrow Canon plays in the playoffs, second round. If we win, we go to the chip. So yeah, man, we're excited about that tomorrow, and I don't want to miss.
Well,
So
you're a game time decision today, and you're pulling through, man. You're pulling one for the team. I appreciate that.
I might have to pull out a Jordan for that as well.
Well, we believe in you. So anyway, let's not waste too much more time. Very excited about tonight, wrapping up this whole series, and then we'll talk about what we're getting into after this. But tonight, let's go ahead and you got that beautiful bean footage queued up, Kirk.
Yeah, that beautiful bean footage. No, I don't actually. I was actually looking at my phone, but here we go. Let's do it. Rushmore of stadiums or arenas, or you know what I mean, venues. Let's get it.
All right, Kirk. Well, as we were saying, we've got a guest coming back with us today. Kind of, you guys can't see it. I can see backstage right now. Kind of looks like I have two of the same shot. I don't know what's going on here. It looks very similar between the two. Let's welcome on Vvogs is here, and he's also rocking the pinstripes tonight. What's going on,
baby? Of course, baby. Gotta rep my pinstripes. I'm from Sept, Connecticut. So, yeah, that's why I'm a Yankee fan.
It is an iconic Connecticut. It is iconic.
That's the connection.
Yes, I was born in Stamford, Connecticut. My brother's a Mets fan. I'm a Yankee fan. My dad's from Minnesota. He's a Twins fan.
Minnesota.
Well, I was a Mets guy growing up, and only because Mike Piazza. I loved Mike Piazza.
You know what? Everyone thinks because I'm a Yankee fan, I hate the Mets. I love Mike Piazza. I love Gary Carter. I love Pete Alonso. I have no ill will against the Mets.
Yeah, so I'm not
the
a
only
Mets.
thing I have ill will is the Red Sox.
Yeah, so if I would be a resident of New York, I probably would kind of adhere to hate the Mets, but I'm not in the community for that, so I really don't care about the Mets. You play the Mets once a year for a 3-game set, and then you play them like every 15 years in the playoffs. So it doesn't really. I was actually pulling for the Mets last week. But yeah, it is what it is. Now the Red Sox, no. It's one of 3 teams I'll never cheer for.
Is it safe to say
never say never? If it benefits the Yankees for them to do something, I'll cheer for them. But if not, no.
So is it safe to say we're not going to hear Fenway talked about tonight?
It's on the list. It is on the list. It's a
great venue.
We've got a first timer here on the Twitch side of things. Poetically Christian Gamer. God bless, guys. First time being here. Appreciate you hopping on, man.
Hey, Poetically Christian Gamer. Welcome to the show. We are both pastors. We both love to talk pop culture. And man, if you're Poetically Christian Gamer, we've kind of chat, I think, in maybe the social worlds. We'd love to collab with you. So shoot me a DM on Instagram.
As you were saying about Fenway, I've been, dude. It's one of the best ballparks. Like, just because I don't like the Red Sox doesn't mean I hate everything about them. Like, their stadium is phenomenal.
Well, I do. I do hate everything about them.
You have admitted, you personally admitted that you don't
everything but their stadium I hate.
Yeah, their stadium's nice. It's one of those things that Andy doesn't like, though. So speaking of that, let's jump into this conversation.
Yeah.
So, Vvogs, you've never heard this argument, but we're going to talk stadiums. We're going to talk venues. We'll talk arenas. This goes across all sports and why these are your favorite. So, Andy has an umbrage with the baseball stadium because they are not all the same length, which as a baseball fan, I think that is a big part of baseball and the home field advantage.
It is a big part of baseball. It's a skewed bad part of baseball.
Well, here's the thing. Like, Houston didn't have to put a hill in their outfield. They could have tailored it better, but they didn't. That's not our fault. You know what I'm saying?
They were all built like on streets, like they didn't knock buildings down. It's like, well, I'm going to build around the Sears Tower, and that's just in center field. What are we doing?
Oh, bro, even better. Poetically Christian gamer.
There you go. I was about to put it up for you.
We're now friends. Andy doesn't like the Yankees, though. He's not a Yankee hater, but he doesn't. No, man. So, all right. Well, let's get started. First off, Vogs, welcome to the show. Welcome back. Tell everybody that may be new, like Poetically Christian Gamer, what type of creator and channel and things that you've got going on, and we'll get started. Like, why do you like sports? What's going on? We're in a sports series. Here we go.
Yeah.
Hey, Christina.
I'm Wvogs18. Started my channel many years ago. It was strictly sports cards, and I do shorts at events I go to. Like recently, I was at the Renaissance Festival, filmed a little there. Nice. And I now do comics also. So I got into sports as a very young age, playing soccer and basketball and t-ball and other stuff. And we all of us played sports in my family besides my mom. My dad played soccer, tennis, and stuff. My brother played soccer, basketball, whatever. So we sports was very much in our lives from the beginning.
Nice.
Awesome. So obviously you're a Yankee fan. I think as we walk through this, we'll probably hear a lot of our fandoms. What's up, Random Rips? Hey, Hammy. Yeah.
Hey, look,
Larry, Christina, welcome to the show. All you guys have wrenches already. Hey, Jay, that's Vogs. That's Vogs' internet, Dad. But
yes, it is. I'm happy you caught on to that. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're welcome to the show, guys. And
he's biased on the first two. He's a diehard.
I'm sure he's going Wrigley. Yep, there it is. Wrigley Field, Lambeau. Yeah, I hear him talk about those. Chavez Ravine. I'm not a fan, but okay, we'll move along. And it's not because of the Dodgers. I'm not a Dodger hater, but yeah, there's nothing that I have attached to it. So let's get started. So if you've been around the show long enough, we do top four, and we go 4, 3, 2, 1. We start with Rosie. Rosie is Roosevelt, and then we go TJ Jazzy Jeff, which is Theodore Roosevelt. See, look, I'm sick. Look at Thomas Jefferson, and then Lincoln, and then George Washington. So, and then we'll do some honorable mentions at the end. We call them the Bennies. So you're up first, Vogs. Our guest always goes first. What were you thinking when you were kind of putting the list together, and we'll get going?
Man, there's so many. There's so many.
What's your criteria first?
I did it for each sport, so I could like have a lot of selections.
Okay.
So you did the 4 big sports, I'm assuming?
I'm sorry?
So you probably did the 4 big sports, football, basketball, baseball, and hockey, I'm assuming?
No, I did not do hockey. I did college football instead.
College. Okay.
Nice.
Because I watch hockey, but I'm not into it as much as the others.
Gotcha.
So for the first...
And my top 4, just to throw us out there, I think are all 4 different sports as well.
That's what mine is. I'm not saying this one is the worst one, but I'm going to go with Old Yankee Stadium.
Wow. Okay.
Old Yankee Stadium at number 4.
At number 4.
So why do you like Old Yankee Stadium?
The reason I love Old Yankee Stadium, it was my first Yankee game. It wasn't the first MLB game I went to, but it was my first Yankee game as a kid. I don't remember who they played. All I remember is getting a Jabba Chamberlain jersey as a kid. That guy ended up being nothing. But no, the atmosphere, it's called the house that Ruth built. Legends played there from Babe Ruth, Mickey Mantle, Lou Gehrig, Roger Maris, you name them all. There's hundreds of guys. And then you have hundreds of managers. And then you got 27 World Series pennants. You have Monument Park commemorating the best Yankees of all time. Yes, it gets a bad rep for being a short right field, but you know what? It's my favorite team, and that's where they played. Was I heartbroken when they tore it down to build new Yankee Stadium? Yes, but you know what? I've been to New Yankee. New Yankee's cool, but old Yankee's still in my heart.
Nice.
Well, I will say this: I have never been to the new Yankee Stadium. That's a thing that I've been trying to get going
It's
with
solid.
my family and get up there. But I have been to old Yankee Stadium 4 times.
I only went once.
And man, when I walked through the gates, you just kind of
you got goosebumps.
Yeah. You get goosebumps. You feel almost like the Field of Dreams, right? Like it's just there's so much history there, and I loved every minute of being there. But I hate it. I hate it when it got tore down. I was actually shocked.
I was heartbroken.
I was shocked that the Yankees made the move before Fenway made the move. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's almost that thing that now that's one of those things that the Red Sox still have. They have the original, and the Yankees are rebuilding that. But I agree with this. It's a good pick.
I don't have, other than knowing that obviously this is, I think, as much as I rag on like baseball, like I don't like the dimensions and all that kind of stuff. I still hold to that. I don't think that there's more iconic stadiums than baseball. You could make the case to just do 4 baseball stadiums tonight.
I love that point.
Yes.
Because when you got I won't mention them all, but when I was going through the list, there's 32 teams, there's 30 teams, there's 31 teams. I had a lot more baseball, and I kept thinking, well, maybe I'm just a bigger baseball fan, but there's so much more history.
In a weird way, and it goes against what I feel about baseball. I think some of the quirks make the iconic stadiums. I don't like it for the game, but if we're just talking stadium as far as the iconic status of it, I think that there's
so
you
many.
Think about your football, like let's just say NFL, right? And we'll talk about this, I'm sure. As of recently, I feel like teams are just getting new stadiums, and they're just like Taj Mahal.
Left and right.
You're getting these massive, which no hate on those stadiums. Like
Las Vegas, the stadium is unreal.
It's crazy, but it just doesn't have the aura of like I don't know. Baseball's got, like you said, that Field of Dreams thing. You just don't get that in football, I guess, as much. So,
Andy, how many baseball games have you actually been to, like real stadiums?
Are we ready to go to my picks?
Okay. You're coming in there. Here's the thing. There's a time in my life that the reason I bring that up, that I feel like a retirement thing, maybe, or take it with my kids, but that I want to hit every stadium. But I wouldn't do that for football.
Right, exactly.
No, I wouldn't either.
Mainly football, the months that it plays is a big deal. You can't go in the summer, you know what I mean? And I definitely wouldn't do it for basketball.
And you know what? You got a good point, Kirk, real quick. They always mention when people say, oh, I want to go on a road trip to see different stadiums, you always hear baseball. You don't hear the other sports. You hear everything.
Because you want to pick up a day game, get a Dodger dog, you get the whole feel. Go into, like Madison Square Garden or whatever. I've never been there, but like I just don't feel like it would be the same feel. Like, I got to be here. And some of those arenas, I think one of the big things, and Andy, I think you'll probably bring this up, is I've been to more arenas for non-sporting events than sporting events.
Let me get to my picks.
Because sporting events,
right?
Aside from the Superdome, I usually go there for the concerts or for the festivals or whatever monster trucks or whatever the heck it is. Like, so it doesn't have that same feel.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's a great thing.
Obviously, you're going for baseball almost 90% of the time.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you're up, Andy. What were you thinking?
Yeah. So criteria, part of it was, and I tried to do just 4 that I've personally been to. One of mine I have not been to, but I had to put it on my list. But 75% of my list, I've been to this stadium at least one time. And also on top of that, like you just kind of alluded to, I looked at historically, what are these stadiums known for from a sporting sense, but also what other big events have taken place. Now, some of these stadiums have big events that are iconic that aren't necessarily even sports, right? Just amazing. Like it could be concerts, but it could be, there's one that has a visitation. I mean, there's all kinds of craziness, right? That happens here. So, but this first one, I've been to this one. I remember going here in like 1998, 99 ish, around that time. We had, and it's not going to be listed on, I think, any list, because again, Rushmore Show becomes your top four, right? Our own personal top four. Built in April 19th, 1966. Seats approximately 45,000 people, lovingly known as the Big A. I'm going Angel Stadium. I had to do it. And
Nice.
so I've been here. I've been here before. We went 98, 99-ish or so. We had a family reunion. My whole dad's side's from Cal. I've shared the story of why I'm an Angels fan, and just grew up watching it with my dad. My dad was an Angels fan too. But we got to go to a game at a family reunion. And I remember we played like the Twins, I think. Yeah, I think it was the Twins. And they lost like 12-2. But it was just so fun. It was just a great, a fantastic game. It was a fantastic experience. I mean, on that, here's the quirks you have. Obviously, the nickname's the Big A. You got the scoreboard that is the giant A with the halo around it. Light up the halo, right? Super cool deal there. You've got the waterfall and the whole deal in the outfield, which is just a really cool touch. As you walk in, you've got the giant helmets out there, and it was a cool experience. Again, probably not going to be on very many people's critics or whatever if you just Google what are the top stadiums. But in the 90s, I believe this got renovated to be a baseball only facility. So it's designed to just be for baseball, but in the 80s it was a multi-purpose venue. In fact, the Rams actually used it as their home stadium for a couple of years there. So we had those things. It's got a ginormous parking lot, and it's because after, it was a multi-purpose venue for those reasons, and they didn't change that once it became baseball only. But there's been a couple other things. There's been some concerts and things. It says Rolling Stones played there in the 70s, Pink Floyd, Madonna, U2, the Eagles. There's been some concerts and stuff there. But again, Angels Stadium of Anaheim, and whatever we want to call it, they've had 19 different names in their history. But we all know what it is. I'm going with Angel Stadium as my Rosie. Having gone there as a kid, getting the Thundersticks, seeing the rally monkeys, having just a blast out there. Also, side note, my aunt, my dad's twin sister, worked in like marketing there with the stadium. So during the World Series and during when we would go to the game, when we went to the game, she hooked us up with all the swag and things that we, all those little trinkets and different things. And man, it was just a blast. We had our whole family there. It was a great time. I love Angels.
Just before Barry gets out, it looks like he's dropping his whole list. Wrigley, Superdome, the Astrodome, so I'm assuming that's the old one, and then Boston Gardens, iconic floor right there. I love Boston.
It makes it, yeah.
Yeah, but hey, so I'm glad you picked this. It was on my it's on my Benjamins.
Really?
But for a different reason. So on July 24th, 1994, okay, I pulled it up. I while you said it, I looked it up. Anyways, the Yankees played there, and I went to that game, and the Yankees won 6-4. Now, here's the iconic part about that, why I love this stadium so much. The Yankees were losing going into the 6th inning. They were losing 3-0, and I remember that. I tell my story and I say 3-0. And when I pulled it up, I got it here. And here's the thing: about a week prior, not even a week prior, a couple days prior, Don Mattingly hit his 2000th career hit. So he had the day off. And I was like, I was so upset. Well, look, And I remember this, and it was kind of like one of those core memories. And I was hoping it wasn't one of those Mandela effects or whatever. So we were staying with friends from California of my family, and they were Angels fans. So they all bet me like $20 to my $20. So there was like I was a little kid. Well, I was 14, I guess, or 15. And these guys were all like in their 40s or 50s, and they all bet me like $20 to my $20. And they were going to divide the 20 up. I ended up making like about $120 that day, because in the ninth inning, Don Mattingly pinch hit, and you're not going to be able to see it, but it's there, right there. Pinch hit in the ninth. Don Mattingly hit his 2001 or 2002 hit as a home run right over my head to win it.
Nice.
One of the greatest. It was probably my most fond memory of traveling the country with my family, and dude, it was just so awesome. And it just happened to be in California.
I got some stories about my number 2 and my number 1 when we get there.
Nice.
Because I don't remember what game I saw.
I appreciate this. It was on my list as a Benjamin, kind of hoping that you would say it, because you are you're an Angels fan. So I was like, I hope he says it. Well, hey, Kenneth Bird, Zach in the house, Poetically Christian, number for Three Rivers. Yeah, so Three Rivers is great. Old Yankee Stadium, Madison Square.
Hey, look, we got
Mile high. You're not going to like it here. Hey, huge problem is iconic stadiums have been remodeled and replaced. My list. Fenway, Wrigley, Horseshoe, Busch. I love all 4 of those. And actually, they're all on my list at one level or another.
Fulton County Stadium was my favorite. Of course, I never been doing a game outside of Atlanta.
1996, I loved it because Jim Leyritz hit a home run off of Mark Wohlers and sent us to win that World Series. Yeah. So random rips. So Kenneth. Anyways, my turn. So all of mine, I have a little bit of fandom, some level or another. And I've either been there or it's on my bucket list. And they're iconic. Some of them are gone now, like Ohio says. Brian, he said, they've been redone or torn down, like Old Yankee Stadium. Or there's others that are still hanging around, and I just feel like I need to get there before there is a move or some kind of something. My number 4, I'm going with a place that has hosted countless baseball games that are meaningful games. I'm going with old Baton Rouge, Skip Bertman Field, where LSU plays baseball. Over the right field wall, you got the Intimidator that gives you all of the championships that Skip and now Paul Maneri and now Jay Johnson has won. There is not a college baseball feel like this place. I love college baseball. I will go watch Georgia play. I will go watch Vanderbilt play. I'll go watch Mississippi State. But there is nothing like walking in to Skip Bertman Field. I'm pretty sure it's the biggest baseball field for college in the country. It's hosted, they've won seven championships, and they're always usually in the regionals, super regionals. I've been to this field so many times. I have so many memories, whether it was back in the day. We mentioned it last week or a couple weeks ago with Ohio while I was on here. We were talking about Albert Bell. When Albert Bell played there, all the way when Todd Walker played there, up to Brandon Larson and Ben McDonald, you name it, Alex Bregman. I've seen him play out there. And then this recent run with, Paul Skeens. And it's just a phenomenal stadium. And that Intimidator keeps growing, man. It's the Tiger billboard in the right field. There is not a better college baseball stadium, and you can fight me about it. But if you like college baseball, this is the Mecca. It is definitely the Mecca. It's huge. It sells out. It's like breaking records on selling out. But I'm going with Skip Bertman for you.
All right. I have nothing to, not because it's on my list. I just have nothing to add to it. College baseball, I have literally zero. I mean, I know what baseball is, but I mean, you can tell me anything. I mean, I just don't even. I do remember we did watch at camp the year that LSU won.
Yes.
Yeah, like we were in the.
You were driving up.
Well, no, we watched it the year we were in the little leaders lounge. Everyone was in there watching it.
Oh yeah. That was the year I didn't go, right? That was the year before because you guys told me about
youth camp. That was youth camp the year you went to kids camp. Yeah. So we watched it, and I had no dog in the fight, but it was just fun to be in that and to be, whatever. It was fun. So that's my experience.
That environment is so just crazy cool. That's just so crazy cool. A lot of new folks in the chat we haven't seen in a while. Hammy and Son's going to be on in our food. He's coming on for burgers. We're going to do burgers with Hammy and Son. Zach, he was on a couple weeks ago. DK, Patrick, we need to have you guys. Barry, I keep reaching out, throwing you a bone. I watched your live being kinder the other day, so we need to get Barry on. Well, he probably have to hide behind something. He never shows his face. So Barry, we'll have to come up with some unique way, but you could talk. So I'm going LSU. I'm LSU. Are you a college baseball fan at all, Vogs?
I don't have a team, but I did go to some college baseball games where they played in our minor league sim. I went to the ACC tournament in our minor league sim. That was fun.
Well, you live in North Carolina, right?
Mm-hmm.
UNC has got a great team and a great field.
Yep.
That's a good.
I saw them play in Charlotte against.
They knocked LSU out this year. That's why I thought about them. They've always got a great team.
Yeah.
So, anyways, we're to our second round. Link, right? And
TJ.
Oh, who do you want to go with round 2?
Or with TJ, Jesse, Jeff, by the way, not Link.
TJ. Yeah. Oh gosh.
It's fever game. It's okay.
Do you mind if I bump actually Old Yankee to number 2 and go back to my number 4?
Do it.
I'm sorry.
Tell us. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry. So my real number 4 is let's see. I'm gonna go with Spectrum Center. The old Charlotte Coliseum. The old Charlotte Coliseum. This is my real number 4. My number 2 is going to be Old Yankee. I'm sorry to go everywhere.
The old Charlotte Coliseum, is that where the Hornets used to play?
Yes. I didn't particularly, I don't think I went to a game, but I did go see some WNBA games there. And I did see when we had the Charlotte Sting, and I did see other events as a kid. But that's where the old Hornets play. And I didn't go there to see Hornets games. I'm pretty sure maybe I went to one. I believe I did. I was so little, and we lived everywhere, and we moved a lot when we were kids. But it's cool because unfortunately it's torn down, but they still have where it was located at one point. But talk about an iconic place. It's hosting an all-star game. It's where the Hornets used to play. So yes, that's my number 4.
Okay. All right. Sweet.
Well, my real number 4 because they came over to New Orleans. But even before then, when you're talking about play. Oh, safe. Dang it.
Yeah, that was lucky.
So, anyways, before that, I always talk about the iconic starter jackets that I have. My very first starter jacket was a Hornets jacket. So
you're gonna recognize with this list, it's stadiums I've been to.
Yeah, and I loved the Hornets back then. Grandmama, Alonzo, Muggsy Bogues. That was a fun team. Cool. All right, Andy, you up, man?
Well, so are we giving him his
Oh, yeah,
3
what about
now? What was your 4?
That was my 4.
Well,
My number
let's
2
go.
is
Now we're
Sports
on
Authority.
TJ Jazzy Jeff. What is your
So that was his
actual
4.
3?
Well, wait, so he's already said his 2, so he's gonna have to say his 2. His 3, but his 2.
Let's just give him his 3 now, and then we'll
He's already
just add some comments on 2.
Yeah,
we
my
get
old
back in the right order.
you already heard my number 2.
Kendall
All right,
Gill,
so-
absolutely.
Okay.
What's your
sorry.
number 3 now, though?
My number 3 is, yes, I'm a Panther fan. I'm not going to say Bank of America Stadium, though. It's another NFL stadium I've been to. My grandparents live in Denver, Colorado, and I have been to Sports Authority Field at Mile High. That stadium is legit one of the coolest stadiums. It's near the road, a highway. It's really cool. We've been there for some football games, whether it was sunny or it was snowing. It and it was cold like crazy, but man, we had a blast. And yeah, I would have to say Sports Authority Field at Mile High, because I remember, I think my first game there, Jay Cutler was the quarterback for the Broncos, and Randy Moss was playing for the Raiders.
Yeah, there you go.
Jay Cutler just got himself into some trouble.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
Oh,
my
that's
number 3. Trust
My
me, I
number
won't
stadium,
confuse you guys next time.
Was it difficult to breathe there?
You get used to it because I've been there hundreds of times.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to get used to it. You have to be there a lot.
So
Yeah.
my daughter plays every year for softball in Denver, and they've been going to the Rockies games and stuff. And
I've never been to that stadium.
They talk about the air up there, and yeah, the
It's
breeze is more
legit.
different. Once you get acclimated for a couple days, you kind of get used to it. But going back to the Broncos, I don't like the Broncos. I don't hate them like I hate some other rivalry teams of mine. But I do want to make a trip here to see the Chiefs game at Mile High. My father-in-law is from the Denver area originally, or maybe not originally, but like when him and my mother-in-law met, he lived in Denver. He's a huge Denver fan. And Thomas been on the show. He's a huge Denver fan. He's in the so I would love to maybe go out there and catch a game with those guys. But this is on a Benjamin's list, just because of the attachment to my fandoms. But yeah, Mile High is a great stadium.
It's beautiful. Yeah, I recommend it, man, for sure.
Andy, do you want Mile High?
I mean, I think it's cool. It doesn't have any reason for me to pick it. I haven't been there. I haven't. And
you don't have a team in the fight with them.
Yeah, it's never been a team that I've really pulled for, but necessarily even pulled against. I mean, it just is kind of like
It's
team.
there.
They're a team.
Tebow and Peyton days.
I was all about Tebow mania when it was happening. I was cool with it. I loved Peyton Manning's resurgence and getting that second ring. I loved that.
Don't remind me of that second ring. I was torn in that Super Bowl.
I absolutely loved that second ring as a Saints fan. So
I know you did.
Yeah, but yeah, on any other Sunday, I don't really care about the Broncos.
I think Peyton did the world a service by keeping Cam Newton out of that. So
yeah, you know what? Everyone thinks because I'm a different guy after that game. I like Cam Newton. I'm not a Cam Newton fan. Never really liked him.
Yeah.
I mean, not only do you not like Carolina, you don't like Auburn, Andy. So that you must have really.
No, I can't stand Cam Newton.
Oh, he's annoying.
It's the two teams.
And now he got him a little deal. He got him a little deal. He's moving in. So Terrell Davis, touchdown, baby. TD. I love Terrell. All right. So
I was curious about Denver. Just one real quick thing. I know this is not the topic today.
They also beat the Falcons.
When it comes to the throwback uniforms, I love their throwbacks.
The orange,
that's not what we're talking about today. With the light blue helmet.
That water days.
That is clean looking. I love that.
I
Oh, look, speaking of Steve Atwater, my favorite defensive player of all time, Barry, and War Eagle. How do you feel about that, Andy?
Well,
Atwater's your favorite defensive
how do we
player all
kick
the time?
people out of the comments? How do we do that? Is there a way we can ban them?
I know,
Well,
right? Banberries.
I will just share this. Andy is he's given his fair share of lashings about Alabama the last few years. The last 3 or 4 weeks have been quite fun.
I don't like football anymore. I'm not a football fan ever again.
Wait,
don't wanna
I
talk
can't
about
stand
football.
Alabama football for the
Ohio
life.
says he hates the Broncos. Yeah, I feel that, Ohio. I feel that.
Yeah.
All right. So, Andy, what's your next pick?
Yeah, so this is going to be the one that I haven't been to, but there's no absolute way that I could knock this off of there. I really honestly picked this for a couple reasons. It's probably the most iconic. I mean, I don't know. It's probably the most iconic arena that we have in the States at least, right? And I picked it for reasons that were music involved, that were concerts. Although it is a sports arena as well, it's multi-purpose. It's used in multiple different ways. This opened the current version, which is actually the fourth version of this.
Oh my
February
God.
11th, 1968. Capacity approximately 20,000 for concerts, 19,800 for basketball, and 18,000 for ice hockey. It's nicknamed the world's most famous arena. And did you know some fun facts about this place? And you don't even know what it is yet, although you may know. It is
I
the
think
only
I know
arena
what it is.
in the world without an official address or exterior signage stating its name. It's just crazy, but everybody knows what it is. We're going to the Garden, Madison Square
Yeah,
Garden.
that's
You
true.
gotta
I've
mention
I've
MSG.
walked past it 100 times because my cousins live in New York, and I've walked it past 100 times. There is no dang signage
There's
for
no
that.
time. It's located right above Penn Station. But
Yeah.
here's the thing. Obviously, we've got some tenants. You got the Knicks, the New York Rangers, also St. John's Red Storm in NCAA
Yep.
basketball.
Yep, they play there.
St. John back in the Gap was a
Yeah.
fun team.
So they're the primary tenants of this. But I mean, it's been known for so many things.
Oh,
Boxing
yeah.
matches. You got Ali versus Frazier. The fight of the century in 1971 was on there.
WrestleMania.
It's the mecca of basketball, right? Michael Jordan dropped 55 against the Knicks in 1995, right after
You
returning
have Billy
from
Joel
retirement.
concerts.
Yeah, well, then concerts. Here's where I really want to get to. Believe it or not, Elvis Presley, 1972, had 4 sold-out shows. It was his first and only New York concerts. Did you know that? At Madison Square
Wow.
Garden. And Elvis Presley.
Did you know?
Here's another one. Rolling Stones, Billy Joel. He has a record-breaking residency at Madison Square Garden, performing monthly since 2014.
I
and
think he's
sold
done.
out. I think he's done now, but he has sold out over 100 shows. Right? He is the piano man at Madison Square Garden.
Oh, heck
John
yes.
Lennon's final concert appearance in 1974. And then
Right.
also, what my personal tie to it, Led Zeppelin filmed their Song Remains the Same movie rockumentary, and the concert footage is from their concert at
Wow.
Madison Square
Didn't know
Garden.
that.
WrestleManias have been there, political conventions. The freaking Pope has visited this place. Madison Square Garden. If I was to put this on the list of probably the most iconic arenas, this has to be 1 or 2.
Oh, yeah.
List. Also, we're talking about movies. Rocky 3, Creed. We're in Madison Square Garden. It's gone through renovations, but it is perhaps the most iconic. And I mean,
very
the
iconic.
most famous arena in the world.
It is.
Out of nowhere. So Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, I mean, it's on my Benjamins. I have literally no desire to go there. Not a Knicks fan. Maybe if there was like a big concert or something, or like WrestleMania, I would have loved to kind of maybe see that. But it's on my Benjamins just because of how iconic it is. When you say greatest stadiums all, MSG comes up, immediately in that conversation. but it's only a Benjamin for me, just for all the reasons you named it. That's why. I didn't know that about the signage or anything like that.
Yep.
Thanks for the history lesson. But
Hey, Barry,
yeah.
Barry, I'm okay with
no.
stats if it doesn't involve sports. If it's music stats, I'm
Hey,
your guy. I'm your guy.
Kirk, look at the screen. Look what happened.
What?
Look at the game.
Oh yeah, it's about to happen. I see it. I already hit. Bye.
Dude, Stanton found his bat this postseason.
That Joker is gone.
All right. Well, yeah. So Madison Square Garden, and it's not even because of the Knicks. I just think there's an aura to. Again, I said in the beginning, there's auras to most baseball stadiums that you have. There's very few and far between. There's some football ones that have been mentioned in the comments that may be mentioned later. But MSG feels like it has that from a basketball sense. And it's for all those other reasons too. Madison's the Garden, right? I mean, it just
117 miles per hour off the bat.
Yep.
Oh, here's a great fact from Random Rips. Fish has sold out 87 shows at Madison Square Garden. Billy Joel passed him by playing 15 on his final tour 2 years ago. Fish would sell out Madison Square Garden at least 20 times in the next 5 years. That's wild because, and no knock on Fish, who that many people will go to their concerts. I mean,
yeah,
like,
no, for real. I'm like, wait. What?
I'm just thinking, like, I mean, Billy Joel is like the guy, right? Like Fish, but Fish must be strong enough to have that, obviously, to sell out that many MSG shows. So, also,
that is a cool stat there, Random Rips.
Side note, I thoroughly enjoy
throwing out the cool stuff.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoy MSG on my Chinese food too. If it doesn't have MSG, it's not as good. So
when I said that, I thought of yeah.
I have that stuff, man. It's flavor.
All right, well, man, Madison Square Garden, awesome.
Yeah. All right, Kirk, we're to you on.
I will say this. Barry said you said the wrong garden. Garden of Eden. No, he's talking about Boston Gardens, but it's weird that they call a basketball arena the Garden. Why is that? Do we know this?
Yeah, I know. That is weird. I don't know.
I don't know. Does anybody have that in the chat? So let's talk. My number 2. Actually, I changed it and I moved my number 5 up because of just I just have a feeling. I have a feeling, but I'm gonna bring in the old hometown stadium, the old hometown, the most massive building in all of New Orleans, right? So I'm picking the Mercedes-Benz Superdome, which has just been renamed to the Mercedes-Benz Superdome, but it was a marvel when they built it. One of the first stadiums, right? Complete domed stadiums ever. When I think of the dome, I think of Hurricane Katrina and what it did for housing people, kept getting people out of those cities. But I mean, they've had so many concerts there. One of the reasons I picked it, I've been to a couple Saints games, but I've been to the Dome way more for other things. Like I went there for the Up in Smoke tour. I went there for Limp Bizkit and Godsmack and DMX. I went there for the Battle of the Bands. I've gone there for right now Taylor Swift is invading and pissing everybody off over there. But here's the deal: like it's constantly a great arena for music, and it's they host the Sugar Bowl there every year. I've gone to the Sugar Bowl even when LSU isn't in the game, and they've hosted the Super Bowl, a handful of times, 5, 6, 7, 8 times.
Aren't you hosting it again soon?
Yeah, and so because of all of those things, and just listen, New Orleans, the Superdome isn't fantastic. There's nothing great about the dome. They revamped it, and it made it a lot better since after they did that. But it's what you get all around the dome. To be honest, you get the food and the jazz music and just feel and the tailgating with the Saints fans that are out there. Like it's our city for sure. And I was going to put it at 5 and just kind of randomly chat about it, but I wanted to jump it in, and it was there. But the reason I had it out, and you kind of talked me into it, Andy, out of the top 4 is because I was never a Dome fan because of the Saints, right? Mm-hmm. That's just where the Saints play. But the Dome has a lot of other great things. I pulled up a few concerts. I mean, I saw Metallica there. Rolling Stones have been there. Beyonce, U2. I mean, it's so many things. Didn't you go? Did you go? Is that where you saw?
Garth Brooks. Garth Brooks just came there. Yeah. I went and saw Garth.
Isn't that where you saw? Gosh, why am I drawing a blank? Tom Sawyer.
I didn't see Tom Sawyer.
Rush.
Oh! I was like, Tom's. No, they were at the Smoothie King Center. But yeah.
Okay. So, anyways, just great dome, and you have the Smoothie King Center right next to it, which that adds that feel to it now.
It's literally a bridge between the two.
Yeah, right around the corner is the vet, the memorial for Vietnam. That just whole area is really a cool place to hang out. And I actually used to park at the Dome when I was in nursing school because the charity school of nursing was right there. So it's really cool. I'm going to go with the Superdome.
I love that pick. Vlogs, have you ever been there?
No, but you know what? As a Panther fan, I always remember moving back to Charlotte. One of the first games I watched was the Falcon Saints game after Katrina, where Steve Gleason. You know what? It's funny. As a Panthers fan, this may sound crazy. One of my first jerseys after I moved back to Charlotte was a Reggie Bush Saints jersey because I loved him at Southern Cal.
Baby.
And you know what's funny is that Super Bowl you guys won was phenomenal. 2-5.
There he is.
Reggie.
Reggae Bush.
There it is. That Super Bowl, baby.
We talked about the top Saints all the time, man. Not enough love for Reggie.
No. Yeah, exactly.
Cool thing is the 25 was also awarded by another Bush. So
Raphael Bush. And he was a firecracker special team.
Oh, he was an underrated player.
Extremely underrated. I mean, he was just
Comic Cap Collectibles. Welcome back, man.
Nice.
Welcome back. It's been a while since we've seen you. Welcome back to the show. Hey, everybody, thank you for being here. We passed 1,000 subscribers last week.
I shared it to my audience too. So
and dude, thank you guys so much. It's awesome. We are trying to get those watch hours up now. So now it's a watch hour trip, man. But
I was just gonna say I did a little research while you were talking about the Dome to answer your question about the Garden. Why things are called the Garden. The concept of the Garden comes from the European 17th and 18th centuries. They had these things called pleasure gardens, which were essentially this large open area for like entertainment and multi-purpose and different things like that, such as the Vauxhall Gardens in London, large open public spaces. They can get for entertainment, concerts, other social events.
Yeah.
That name evokes like a sense of fancy, of grandeur, right? And that was the Garden. That's why it's called Garden, not because of frugal garden, not because of frugal.
OG of all stadiums, the Coliseum. Yeah, that's on my list of stadiums. The Coliseum. Dan in the house. Dan, sadly, your probably favorite stadium is getting shut down. Yeah, well, not your favorite one, but that's why they're getting shut down. Wrigley. Yeah, Wrigley. Nice. So we're halfway. Let's jump into a few things. Let's talk about coffee. Let's talk about our friends. So first and foremost, guys, thank you for being here. It's just a wild run. We have a lot of things planned. Coming up is our next 2 months. We're going into food. We don't have all the topics, but I do have all the guests. We've nailed out the dates. Pretty soon you'll see our post sharing each one of our topics. Hammy and Son, who is in the comments, he is going to be on for burgers. We've got someone coming on for restaurants, someone coming on for a type of cuisine. We got potato chips, and I think all the rest are pretty to be determined. Ideally, Thanksgiving week, me and my family are going home back to Louisiana. And that particular week, our whole families will be on for that show. That ought to be a fun one. And we don't have a topic yet because we've already done Thanksgiving food. So I don't know what we'll do there. But we'll see. We'll see. Oh, had to look up. Bases are loaded, baby. So anyways, so be on the lookout for our episodes. Then we're going into video games. Video games is already booked. Bryce is in the chat. Bryce is going to be on here. We don't have any topics yet for those, but I have a plethora of video game creators that have already agreed to be on. I need to reach back out. It's been a while. So I'll be starting to send those out probably in November and just starting to reconnect. Bryce is super excited. He sends me about once every 2 weeks if I have the date, and I'm excited to have him on. Go follow Bryce JW and all that he's doing with his channel. And so with that being said, we have some friends. One of our set of friends, Cellcast, that are coming on. They're going to do anime foods or animated foods. That's going to be a fun, interesting show. But they're a part of Culture Box, which is this right above my head. And Andy, why don't we show them Cellcast? They're actually live right now. I was just talking, or they maybe just finished. And they're live right now with Geek Devotions, who is, both of those guys are Culture Box guys. Go follow them. They are talking about Blood, the Last Vampire right now, and which is an old Japanese film, I believe. So let's see about Cellcast.
Let's check it out. The Cellcast hosts Jacob and Drew review animated movies and TV shows, discussing what they appreciate about the medium in whatever form it takes, whether it's a traditional hand-drawn animated movie, claymation shorts, or a 3D CGI series. Check out some animated reviews when you subscribe to The Cellcast at thecellcast.podbean.com. And don't forget, Cell is spelled with a C and a single L at thecellcast.podbean.com. Go check out the Cellcast. Hey, when we're done, maybe go hop in there live. We'll be on the rewatch gang with them. Good friends of ours. And like you said, they're with
Dallas
Devotions with Dallas tonight. So it'll be a awesome
so the next thing is coming up in a few weeks is I'll be at home at the week before New Year's, or I'm sorry, the week before Thanksgiving, fever dream. We will be home for the next St. Tammany Collectors Con. We have a nice little video for that. First, let me tell you a little bit about St. Tammany Collectors Con. Let's show this clip, this beautiful bean footage. As Andy
Attention,
says,
all collectors and enthusiasts. The St. Tammany Collectors Convention is coming your way. Whether you're a fan of rare comic books, vintage toys, or unique collectibles, this is the event you've been waiting for. Join us November 16th through the 17th at the Castine Center in Mandeville, where passion meets memorabilia in an epic celebration of all things collectible. Discover exclusive finds, connect with fellow collectors, and meet some of the biggest names in the industry. Dive into panels, food, prize giveaways, costume contests for all ages, and live signings with our special guests featuring Daniel Logan from Star Wars, Steve Cardenas, Katherine Sutherland, and Nakia Burrise from the Power Rangers franchise, and many more. The St. Tammany Collectors Convention has something for everyone, so mark your calendars, grab your tickets, and get ready to experience the largest collectors convention on the North Shore. For tickets and more information, visit sttammanycollectorscon.com or follow us on Facebook. We can't wait to see you there.
I am so excited for that, man. I'm so pumped.
Yeah. And also, Andy and I will be preaching on that weekend for what we call Reboot, Poetically Christian Gamer. If you're still out there, you might be very interested in this. Most of these other guys that have been around a while have seen this already, but we call it Reboot.
Prepare to make the jump to light speed.
But sir, they're getting closer.
Oh yeah? Watch this.
So we will be preaching a nerdy message. I was just thinking about this morning. I was watching some nerdy messages. There's a big, huge nerdy ministry convention going on in Colorado in November that I really wanted to go to with my masters and all the things my kids do. There's just no way. But Andy, I think, now I know you do Argentina every November, but I think next year I'm 100% going to do this and go to this ministry. Hopefully it's not in Colorado. Hopefully, first year it was in Texas. That would have been much more doable. But Colorado's cool. It's in like a castle. So we'll probably go and visit those guys. And I was just thinking about this. I have a laundry list of Christian creators that I want to get on board with us to do a message or two. And we've just kind of been sitting on our hands. But that is going to be something that we will definitely launch for sure coming into the new year. And I'll put together that primer for all those friends that are Christian that want to jump in on board and start doing that. But I was just looking, Checkpoint Church, their YouTube just past 70,000. Yeah, man. Anyways, and we aren't doing it for the views. Definitely doing it for just one. It's our passion, but it's just it's fun. So Poetically Christian Gamer, yeah, dude, you're welcome. If you like to teach and preach and whatever, you're welcome to jump in and kind of collab with that. So yeah, let's one more thing. We got to tell them about the coffee of the Rushmore Show.
Yeah, I'm going to mention two things, but first one, let's talk about Village Coffee. Village Coffee, good friends of ours, the official coffee of the Rushmore Show. They have a fantastic brew. If you go to villagebeans.com, I swear one of these days I'm just going to make a commercial for this, but you guys like hearing my voice say it. Go to villagebeans.com. You can order K-Cups. You can order the coffee grounds. He even started experimenting with making a cold brew ground, which we tested out this week. We're trying to perfect our ratios because that's kind of key when it comes to that. But delicious stuff. He's got Mexico, which is my favorite blend, but he's got an Ethiopia and a Colombian. If you go to villagebeans.com, let them know when you order, if you put in the little order notes that the Rushmore Show sent you. I mean, it doesn't do anything for us, but it's just kind of cool for him to see.
Marge sent you.
Go do that. He'll ship out to you if you're in the 48. You want to go try those out for sure. If nothing else, go buy a little 10-pack of the K-Cups, give it a taste, and I promise you, this is the coffee that you're going to want. So I'm running low, but I'm going to wait to place my order because the second thing that I want to say is I appreciate all the support and prayers. And if anybody who's here in the comments is a praying kind of person, I'd really appreciate the prayers. We leave out for Argentina in just a few days on Wednesday. In fact, we'll leave out to go to Argentina. We've come under attack with some different things, some details and things, which we're being flexible. It's on it's a mission trip. We understand that things aren't always going to go. There's one thing after another, it feels like is happening. So, but we are scheduled and ready to go. We're going to be hitting the ground running, preaching, planting the church, doing evangelism, doing street reach. We're serving in an orphanage. We're literally doing a little bit of everything that we could possibly be doing in the 10 days that we're out there. So anyway, say that all to say, we would really appreciate your prayers. Alexis, who was on one of our really big shows a couple of years back, our serial episode, she's a former youth student of mine. She's coming with us. This will be her first international, not even just mission trip, but just time out of the country. So she's, obviously got some nerves with that too, but she's very excited for that. So anyway, we got a team of 6 of us that are going out there. Would really, really appreciate the prayers heading into that, and then during the time that we're out there. I'll miss you guys. I won't be here on the show for 2 weeks, but word is you got some pretty awesome guests lined up.
Yeah, we got some real old G's, some OGs coming back. Cobb and Paul, I think, maybe. But anyways, so Bryce, thanks for donating to the cause. You were part of that. Thank you, buddy. Definitely be praying. But hey, man, I'm excited for you, Andy. And let's get to the finish. Let's finish this thing up.
Do it.
We got to welcome our buddy Vvogs back. There he is. So Vvogs, so you've already mentioned your second favorite, old Yankee Stadium. So we've already kind of done that. Anything else you want to add to it?
Nope. Easy.
So
Nope.
old Yankee Stadium. That's a great pick. Good job. Good job. Now, Andy, you're up.
I think this is where I'm going to surprise you because of the one that I'm picking. Man, I can't. So again, I've been to this stadium. I've been to this stadium, and you can't deny how great of an atmosphere this place is. You just can't. Sorry, let me pull back to my notes. I just want to make sure that I got everything here. There we go. Yeah, you can't deny how great this stadium is. There's not many stadiums that have the same feel as this. November 25th, 1924, this place is built. The seating capacity approximately 102,321, making it the third largest stadium in the SEC, and it's among the top 10 largest stadiums in the United States. You're going to know it by its nickname, Death Valley. I'm going to LSU. And it's not even, listen, and I've said this plenty of times before. Obviously, I'm an Alabama fan. I'm not an LSU hater. I like the smack talk. That's part of fun of sports. But I don't like Auburn. So, I mean, like, that's really the only team that I'm ever adamantly rooting against. I don't really care otherwise. But yeah, Death Valley, let me tell you what. Back in, gosh, it had to be like 2008, probably. Yeah, when we went to a game 2008, 2009-ish, we went to a game and LSU was playing Appalachian State, okay? That was who we were playing. And the atmosphere at this game was bonkers. It was crazy. First of all, as we're walking up, they do a flyover. I mean, there's a flyover. They're playing Appalachian State at like 11 a.m. I mean, it's not even, I'm not even at Death Valley for a night game, like that whole thing. They did a flyover, and I was deaf for about 3 minutes. I couldn't hear anything. It was crazy. But the crowd was crazy. We were in the student section. It was wild. It was a wild experience. They wound up beating Appalachian State like 8,000-2 or something. I don't even know. It was something. There was no reason to play this game, but it's that atmosphere. And here's the thing: there's some teams have home field advantage, and I think in college you see it a lot because college just has the student sections, right? Just all that kind of craziness there. But I don't think that there's a better home field advantage than LSU. I think there's something about, and again, we said baseball is going to give you the aura, right? For the most part. Death Valley, it doesn't matter if LSU's got 2 wins on the season. They're playing a 7:00 game against South Carolina or whoever. And it's primetime TV, and it's because that stadium is crazy. But then you talk about, traditions, right? Callin' Baton Rouge when that song comes on. I mean, is there much better? I mean, we talked about it in wrestling, right? When the theme songs come in the hit, right? Like when that song hits, it's just you're transported to a different world. You really are. And this stadium is just insane. I've only been there one time. I've driven past it every year, twice a year. I mean, when we're going to camp, you can see it. We point it out to our kids hey, there it is. There's Death Valley, right when you're on the bridge, you see it, and it's massive. I mean, it looks like a spaceship landed in the middle of Baton Rouge. Like, it's just a weird. Anyway, this stadium is it's crazy, and I think it's a testament to the fans, right, of the team. But there's just. It's just something. It's a hard thing to put your finger on what exactly it is. Again, they've had the concerts. Garth Brooks performed there. Now, I didn't get to go to this one, but Garth Brooks performed at Tiger Stadium, played Callin' Baton Rouge live, and it registered on the Richter scale. There was
that's the third different time that stadium is registered.
Yeah, and then there's the earthquake game
Yeah,
which was
and I was at that game in
88?
2007. Demetrius
Versus-
Ford, I think, was the guy, the receiver that caught it against Auburn, War Eagle, in the end zone. Boom, and it hit the seismic graph, the earthquake game. I was at that game in the end zone there. Andy, this is the one I took out for the Superdome. One of the reasons is because I kind of thought that you weren't going to say this, so and then I wouldn't have a chance to talk about the Super Bowl as much. And now you bring this up, so I love this. I was going to put this as number 5, but it is amazing now that they've rebuilt it and they've made it a full-on bowl, because at one time it was kind of a horseshoe like Ohio State, but it is now 102,000, and that place is loud. It is so loud. It is so crazy. And here's the thing: what most teams don't get, there's drinkers and there's Baton Rouge tailgaters.
There's
And
LSU
I'll tell you right now, I don't care what state you live in. I don't care what team you cheer for. You are not as drunk as those guys in that parking lot for college game day at LSU. And so when you talk about a home field advantage, when they come barreling in with all that intoxication, it is nuts. And then, the band is loud, just everything going on. There was a time at Tiger Stadium where it was like 112 games in a row, night games that they won. It was insane. It was just a 100-something number. Baton Rouge is definitely it's one of my favorite places to go and watch sports.
It is a great atmosphere. Ooh. It is a great, again.
There's no tailgating like it. It actually makes the Saints look pretty ridiculous. But the tailgating at LSU is next level.
So here's the thing. Yeah. When we walked, so we were staying at a friend's house in Baton Rouge, and we walked to not far from the stadium. So we walked there, and as we're walking there, it's like I was at freaking Sam's, like getting samples. Like everyone was just like, "Oh, try this rib." Like you're just like,
the big theater being cooked. I mean, whoever you're playing, definitely crazy. And then everybody welcomes you in, especially if you're wearing the gear. But it gets toxic. Speaking of Ohio was in the chat earlier, if he's still out there. Me and Ohio went to a game. Matter of fact, I think it was that Tim Tebow game that I talked about a couple weeks ago. And if I remember, and Ohio is Ohio State fan, and I couldn't find him amongst the 102,000 people.
Yeah.
So I just and this is pre sobriety, if you know what I mean. I just start screaming as loud as I can. OH! He's not over that way. OH! And the only idiot at a Florida LSU game. Oh, yo, he's that way.
Marco Polo.
I hope he's still in the chat, because we definitely did that. I found him in the midst of like 100,000 people. But anyways, Tiger Stadium, great stadium, great call. Vogs, you probably don't know much about Tiger Stadium. Have you gone there?
No, it is deafening, but I agree. It's my favorite SEC stadium, but just wait till you hear my number 1.
Yeah, well, we're coming around the bend for it. So I am gonna jump in, and my next 2 are probably no surprise at all. This stadium I've never been to, but you talk about home field advantage, Andy. This is probably one of 2 or 3 stadiums that has the best home field advantage for football. And I'm going 1972, man. Opened in 1972, Kansas City, Missouri, Arrowhead.
I tell you, I've driven past Arrowhead. It looks phenomenal.
It's a fantastic venue. I was trying to get there for the Saints game this year just to see my 2 favorites go on Monday night. couldn't make it happen because it was a Monday night and trying to get time off, and the tickets were just. If you were a couple of weeks ago, the Saints were actually decent, and for that Monday night game, the tickets were just insane. And so I didn't get a chance to go. It is definitely on my bucket list. I've never been, but I will make it there eventually. I'm a Chiefs fan. You mentioned the Broncos earlier.
Yep.
This is one of those things I want to do. I want to see the Broncos play the Chiefs play at the Broncos and at Las Vegas and in Chargers. That's one of those things that's on a bucket list I would like to see, just to see the home field games. But yeah, Arrowhead is way up in my list when I think of stadiums. It's old, but it's beautiful, like the round edges. And this is that one stadium that I was telling you about that they got the drum beat, they got the noise, it's loud, it's just deafening in there. But this is one of those stadiums that they're talking about destroying.
And I hope they don't.
The state of Missouri. Well, there's two Kansas cities, and most people think it's in Kansas, but Kansas City, where that field is actually in Missouri, not in the Kansas side. And there's an argument on bringing the Chiefs to Kansas side and the Royals. So, and they're like right next to each other. But I want to be able to get out there before they do that, and because I haven't ever gone. As a fan of since '92, it's been a dream of mine to get out there, and it just hasn't happened yet. So my number 2 is Arrowhead Stadium.
Very cool.
I knew you had to fit that in tonight. I mean, there was no doubt you were going to put that on there. I was thinking maybe we could get through tonight without talking about it.
Phenomenal choice.
No, it's a great stadium. No, I mean, absolutely. I totally agree with you. Correct me if I'm wrong. I remember reading a report or seeing something about like the worst facilities in.
Yeah,
NFL.
So that is a big deal.
Is that a part of the stadium, or is that separate?
What?
Are they talking about like the stadium? It's like the facilities within.
No, they're talking about
like
the actual players' locker room.
Well, it's nothing. Oh yeah. So the locker room's pretty garbage.
Yeah, they're pretty run down and old. Patrick they interviewed him, and he's like, I don't really care as long as I get to win. But in the reality is, when you go in the other stadiums, and they've won. So this is not to talk about that, but like when you've won 3 of 4, and you start out hot in the 5th year, and you've made all these AFC championships, you feel that there should be some upgrading. And that's kind of what the argument is. Like, hey, look, we brought the trophies, we spent the money, we've increased the revenue, we've increased the brand, we've made the team now worth $6 billion to $60 billion, whatever it is. I'm just throwing a number out there. You can at least get us some new locker rooms.
I agree.
I think one of the things is the fact that it's potentially moving. So if it moves, then everybody gets new stuff. So I think that's kind of a part of it. They have to finish out the next contract, and because it's expiring, and figuring out where it's going. And if they re-up, then they'll probably get state-of-the-art that stuff.
Yep.
So.
All right, well, hey, good pick. We are now to our Jorge, George, numero uno. So, Vogs, you get to actually talk again. Where are you at with your number 1?
My favorite stadium, Death Valley number 2, Clemson Memorial Stadium.
Wow. All right.
Yeah, amazing stadium. Brent Musburger calls our intro the best 25 seconds in college football. I've been to hundreds of night games. The buses go around the stadium, I think, 3 times. They stop. They let the players off at the gate. They bounce around, get hype. They touch Howard's Rock, which is actually a rock from the real Death Valley, given to, it was either president or coach, and said, get that rock away, and he used that as a doorstop. And now it's in a glass cage at the top of the hill, and our players run down that hill full
Yeah, don't
speed.
forget, you got to have Dabo running down at 75 miles an hour.
Exactly. Dabo running at 100 miles per hour. I agree. And then the night atmosphere is phenomenal too. You got the Tiger Rag Band playing our fight song. Man, I've
So,
seen some of the best
let
games.
me ask you a question. How far are you from that stadium?
I live in North Carolina, so it's like 2.5 hours.
So it's about an hour and 45 from me. So one of these times we need to go to a Clemson game.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. I'm down.
Yeah,
We'll have to.
Clemson is on a short list of teams that my daughter's looking at to go and
Go to the
softball
night
for.
game. The night games are the best. But I've been to some of the best games. I'll tell you two. The second one's the better one. The first one, it was pouring down rain, horrible weather. Clemson was playing Notre Dame. First play, I think it was the first play of the game. Our kicker does his squib kick. Notre Dame's guy fumbles it. Our kicker recovers the squib kick for the freaking start of the game. Talk about adversity. Later in the game, Notre Dame, and it's monsooning. It was me, my brother, and his roommates. And it was pouring. It was a monsoon. And Notre Dame goes for two. They fail to go for two. Actually, I've been to 3 great games. I'll tell you the number 2, Clemson, Georgia. When Georgia had Aaron Murray and A.J. Green, and we had Taj Boyd and Sammy Watkins and those guys.
Lance Mahal.
Sammy Watkins. There is just pause for a second. When we talk about forgotten players, like when we bring up those
Won
names,
Super Bowl with the Chiefs.
Sammy Watkins. How about that one?
Yeah.
Anyway, continue. Go ahead.
So, yeah, and DeAndre Hopkins on the same field. They were both amazing.
He's about to win a Super Bowl with the Chiefs.
Yep.
He's washed.
And so that was an amazing game. We blocked the field goal. We were ranked 8. They were ranked 5. Kirk and Andy, I'll send you the clips later or tomorrow from the games. Watch the highlights. Please just do me the favor, watch the highlights. Best game I've been to, night game, Death Valley, Clemson, Louisville, Deshaun Watson, Lamar Jackson. And so Louisville's driving the field. They need a touchdown to win it. Or I think a touchdown at 2-point. Or maybe just a touchdown. They're driving. And trust me, like I said, I'm going to send you the highlights. They go for it on 4th down. But it was me, my brother, my mom, and a bunch of other Clemson fans. Literally, the receiver catches it, steps out because our guy's about to just knock the lights out on him. That short of the first down. Clemson football. It was on 4th down. I'm sending you guys the highlights.
Send them to us. Send them. I haven't been inside of Clemson, but I have been to Clemson. When we first moved here, my wife and I.
I'm still here. I'm just going to send them. Go ahead.
My wife and I decided we weren't going to buy Christmas gifts and things for each other anymore, and we were just going to save up and go on a trip together. And we actually went to Asheville that first year just to kind of hang out, get away from the kids, spend some time together. And on the way back, we stopped at Second Chance Church, which is a guy named Perry Noble. He got in trouble for alcoholism, and both my wife and I are sober. So we stopped there, and he was a huge fan of Clemson. So we went, and I was like, oh, so Clemson's around here somewhere. And so we drove around, and we went on to Clemson's campus, and we parked and got to see the stadium, took some pictures. But I've never been in it. At that time, that was 2018, 2019. Clemson was at the top of the world as far as college football. So that was kind of a bucket list to maybe go see a game there. If the right game, I would love to go and check it out. My daughter's boyfriend is a Florida State fan. He's from Tallahassee. So I thought maybe we'd go to Clemson, to Florida State one year and go check that out. But good pick, man. Good pick.
I'm sending you as the highlights. They're
I
really
got a few.
long, but they're
Yep,
great.
I just got him.
There's more. Trust me.
Yeah.
Go ahead, guys.
Pick,
Continue.
good pick. All righty. Well, I'm going to go to mine now. So for my final pick, my George, my number one. It's a great stadium, and I just have to do it. August 3rd, 1975, the New Orleans, Louisiana Superdome. I'm going with the Superdome. I still call it the Superdome, and I know it's the Caesars Superdome now, but it is my favorite stadium. So obviously, for obvious reasons of the Saints, that's a big deal for me. It's one of the largest fixed domes in the world by volume. It covers 13 acres and reaches 273 feet. So this the first it held what 7 Super Bowls, and this will be the 8th one, I think, now that this one is held. Final Fours. Michael Jordan's game-winning shot for North Carolina in 1982 was in the dome. Sugar Bowl is hosted there every year as well. We've got some iconic games that have happened in that. Ali versus Spinks in 1978. We had that one. You mentioned the Hurricane Katrina footage of being a refuge for those that were displaced because of that. The whole speech from Sean Payton when they won the NFC Championship, and he said, "This is for New Orleans, for the dome. This place used to have holes in the roof." Just a chilling speech that he gives there. So we have all that. Again, Pope visited 1987. You got some classic concerts: Rolling Stones, Michael Jackson, Beyonce, Essence Fest. I went and saw Garth Brooks there. You've got all the other events that are happening. You've got the Rebirth statue outside, Steve Gleason. You've got that game, that Monday Night Football game, iconic. So many things, right? It's a staple. When you drive through, it's a part of the skyline of New Orleans. It's on all of that. You've got the iconic, the Dome Patrol defense that we've got. I mean, to have your defense named partly because of the stadium that you play in, it's a big deal. I've been to plenty of these games. Kirk, you hit the nail on the head when you said it. It's all the surrounding stuff too. Championship Square, all of the restaurants located right on the outside of it. It is a tailgate. It's tailgating, like you said. It's tailgating, but it's not what you think. A lot of these stadiums, it's tailgating in the parking lot, right? It's not necessarily that. It's just the whole city's tailgating the whole time. It's just
you're tailgating in parking lots and restaurants. You're tailgating everywhere.
Yeah, you're tailgating. Alleyways down, walking towards the stadium. There are so many, and then the music is playing. It is so symbolic to New Orleans. What the dome means. It's the same thing. And again, I know it's because of the bias for it. What the Saints mean for New Orleans, what the dome means for New Orleans, it's beyond what its actual purpose is, right? They're more than a football team to New Orleans, right? This is more than a giant building to host. There's so many things that this is, just like, the tie-in, all the concourse around it. It's an accessible stadium where you don't feel, all of the renovations that have happened. I don't know if you've been in there since these renovations have taken place. It used to be pretty rough in there, but it's up there with some of the more renovated stadiums that are out there. It's not going to be your Allegiant Stadium in Vegas. It's not going to be, Dallas. It's not going to be SoFi Stadium, but it's not trying to be that. But compared to what it was, with those rainbow colored seats that used to be in there and all those iconic looks there, and the AstroTurf, the '80s AstroTurf.
I feel like the Superdome coined the term nosebleed.
Yeah, dude, I tell you what, when you get up to those top ones, it's like climbing a ladder to get to your seats. It is
going up those concourse ramps.
The concourse ramps, the having the bridge between the Smoothie King Center and most of the concerts I've been to have been at the Smoothie King Center side of things. I've been to Garth Brooks. In fact, he's probably the only concert I've been to there. But I mean, I've gone to, like, my dad was a big fisherman. They had the Bass Pro Fisher conventions there where you can go and look at boats and go fishing and do like stuff.
Things that I did, we talked about it last week or 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago. Everything just blends. With Ohio and Paul was the Bush Challenge, and they had Major League Baseball games in there, and they had where Louisiana would go against Florida, or Louisiana go against Mississippi, or Louisiana go against Alabama, and what it meant was ULL, LSU, and Tulane, and I think UNO maybe would play Florida, Florida State, and Miami. In like a tournament, or Louisiana would play Mississippi State, Ole Miss, and another Mississippi team, and those were in the dome. And I remember while my parents were watching that, me like playing on those concourse ramps like by myself, with other kids, like throwing footballs out there, like with random strangers. Like it was crazy.
Yeah. It's my favorite stadium. It's the one that I have the most tied to.
Do you guys mind if I head out for like 5 minutes and you guys continue?
You're good. Yeah, we're about to go to Kirk's George real quick. So, yeah. So there we go.
I'll stay for that. I just got to do something real quick.
You're good, man. No worries.
All right. So, my George, which it's really, I think. Everybody kind of knows, but I'm going to crush with more with Vvogs, and he's not here, but old Yankee Stadium, man, been there 4 times. Haven't been to the new one. Old Yankee Stadium to me was a dream. So kind of paint the picture. My dad, I actually was just talking about this morning. My dad, he was a high school dropout, and he worked for an aluminum company. He ended up working his way up to be a foreman, and he would get, almost a month of time off a year. And he would use a little bit here and there, but he usually kept 2 weeks or so in the pocket, and we would take this big long trip every year. And we did the Disney trip. We went to Gatlinburg. We've gone to like kind of major U.S. spots like the Grand Canyon. Well, when I got old enough, my dad asked me. He said, "Hey, what do you want to do next year for our vacation?" And I said, "I want to go to Yankee Stadium." My dad had never been. I want to go to New York. So that very first trip, we drove from Louisiana straight up to New York, down to Washington, D.C. for a little bit, and then back home. And we went and saw them play the Royals that first game. We also went up a little bit more north and went to the Baseball Hall of Fame. My dad was a huge Yankees fan because when he dropped out of school, he only had a radio, like a little ham radio or whatever. And the Yankees came on all the time because back then, that was the 50s, 60s, 40s. And the Yankees were, the main team. It's not like it is now. Back then, in Louisiana, we didn't have a team. So they played the Yankees. And my dad was a huge Yankees fan. I thought it'd be just great to go. When we went, man, I still can kind of remember sitting in those seats and kind of talking with my dad, as a young 11, 12-year-old kid, walking through Monument Park and seeing all the retired numbers. I went I haven't gone since 96 or 97. And then they took down the old one and they rebuilt the new one. and I have yet to be back to New York. It's a bucket list for sure to go see the new Yankee Stadium, which is now an old Yankee Stadium. It's been around now almost 20 years, I think. But my favorite stadium all time, best memories, my favorite fandom, obviously, and very fitting for what's going on right now, them being in the World Series. I had to have Yankee Stadium, but not the new one, the old one, the one that Ruth built. And there's a lot of history. 27 championships there. 26 of them won in old. One of them won in the new. Every one of those players, they took some of that dirt and transplanted it and tried to bring the ghosts, if you will, to the new one. And it just doesn't have the same feel. Everybody says it. So one of the greatest stadiums in the history of sports, I would go with old Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, well, there you go. It was 2009, ground broken 2006. So yeah, that's crazy to think that
2009 we won it. Was the last time we won it. So
yeah. So that's a solid pick. I knew I knew you're 1-2. That's kind of where you were going. So
the old Yankee Stadium for a while was like a little league park when in like 2009, 2010. And then I don't remember when it was, maybe 2014, 15, 16, they actually tore it down. And one of the great scenes is like when like they have a drone and they go up at Yankee Stadium and you can see the old park next to it and like kids out there playing like sandlot ball. It's pretty cool in that space. But yeah, it was pretty easy. 1-2. That was kind of where we were going. So yeah. So well, Vlogs isn't here. Vlogs, hopefully you're coming back. Kirk, I have to ask, what's your view on George Steinbrenner? So obviously the boss died. I was still much younger. I'm 46. I was born in 78. When his reign of terror really was very documented in the 70s and 80s mainly. Obviously, the 90s he had the nice little run, but he started to calm down and towards that end because he got in trouble. And I never hated him, but what I will say is this: there used to be an argument all the time, as far as a Yankees fan, and it can kind of be said this year because the two big market teams are there and they have two of the three highest payrolls. But there was a couple years that we weren't the highest payroll after he left. And one of the things I would say is, we'd always say it wouldn't be like this if George was still around. And what I loved about him was okay with going to buy players, but he was okay with there was an open pocketbook to go out and say the tradition's more important. Let's get them here, because as a businessman, he knew that he would make money tenfold if he keeps winning World Series. And some of these other teams, I kind of complain about it though, Dan. I would say the big deal here is, to me, is I want my owner to be giving back to his people, because the big complaint for a lot of people was that the payroll's so high. But almost all these teams, not all of them, obviously, Oakland, where you're at, obviously had a low payroll. But if the owner takes that all home, I'm not cheering for the owner. I'm cheering for the product on the field, and I'd rather them spend it. There was no salary cap. The luxury tax wasn't a big deal. So I'm okay with that. Just kind of like with the steroids thing. That's just how baseball was. Now, on a salary cap football side of things, it's a much more tougher situation to go out and get players, because you have to manage that roster a little differently. So all that to be said, I'm not a Steinbrenner fan, but he sure as heck did what he had to do to put that team where it needed to be. And he ruined it a couple years with the Yogi Berra being the manager. Man, what a debacle that was, and how he basically fired him and then brought in Billy Martin and then let Billy Martin go again. So yeah, I would go out there and say I kind of wish George was here now, because Hal and those he doesn't make the same deals. So
No, I agree. I had the same. Sorry, guys, I had to quickly shower. I smelled from work. No, I agree with your views on George Steinbrenner. 100%.
Well, yeah, we're to the Benjamin side now, Boggs.
How
It's
many
time.
Benjis do we get?
We get four, but we can't match now. So it's kind of just, it's going to be like a draft. So you're up first, and we're going to do our Benjamins for everybody that's out there. This is our opportunity just to throw in some more honorable mentions. So let's get it.
So I forget. Can the Benjamins match someone's Rushmore?
No. It just have to be four completely new ones.
Okay. As a kid, playing video games, my first favorite video game was NCAA Football 06. Desmond Howard was on the cover. Reggie Bush was the best player in the game with Vince Young, Matt Leinart. I am going with Los Angeles Memorial Stadium.
Okay.
That I loved playing as USC back then with Matt Leinart, Reggie Bush, Dwayne Jarrett, Steve Smith, the other Steve Smith, I actually call him, Clay Matthews, that team that made the that championship against Texas. So yeah, that stadium always from the video game was like, man.
I kind of thought you were going to go Rose Bowl.
Yeah, I thought the Rose Bowl was happening there.
Actually, I'm sorry. I can't think straight tonight. I meant the Rose Bowl.
Okay, that's what I thought you meant there.
I meant the Rose Bowl. My bad. I am horrible.
Yeah, I mean, that's cool. That's cool. Eat both of them.
I'm going to go with the Rose Bowl because it's probably my favorite bowl game besides the national championship, because it's not on super late. It's not super early. It's on right at the good time where it goes from it's light out and then it goes boom, no switch. It's dark out, and like it's always such a fun competitive game. Always. And I've always wanted to go to Rose Bowl. I've been to California, but man, always seeing that on TV, I'm like, Pasadena sounds like a lot of fun. Nice.
All right.
I'm going to go with my oldest stadium here today. Construction was begun in 70 to 72 AD. Was completed in 80 AD. I'm going with the Roman Coliseum. I had to throw that bad boy out there. Give me some gladiator matches.
Hell yeah, dude.
That is an iconic.
That is a good one, man. Hey,
we're gonna go with that. Probably not
the Roman Coliseum. I've seen it in person. It's impressive as hell, dude.
Yeah. Nice. Anyways, all right.
What's crazy? Real quick, I just want to say the mock sea battles that would take place at the Coliseum, where they would flood it, and it would be like naval battle reenact. What in the world? The stadium floods itself on purpose to mock some sea battles. I mean, how cool.
Hey, let's just throw a ton of water in here.
That's crazy.
Great idea.
It's not here anymore, or not to its full extent. So anyway, Roman Coliseum. All right, go to yours.
All right, so I mentioned something that involves this stadium earlier with my number 4. I mentioned Alex Box, Skip Bertman Field, which is LSU Stadium. But LSU's home away from home was Rosenblatt Stadium, which is where the College World Series in Omaha was for all those years. I'm going with Rosenblatt and
That's a
love.
great,
Gosh, that's an
iconic,
iconic field,
beautiful.
and I
Yeah.
love that place.
Very
And look,
nice.
I'm gonna go with one here. Of all of the baseball fields, not Yankee Stadium, I think this one's the most iconic. This is for a couple of the friends in the chat. Jay, I'm going with Wrigley. I'm going with Wrigley Field.
Yeah, that's a good one.
The ivy, I mean, it's just iconic.
I
remember watching on WGNO Channel 9 back in the day, Cubs games during the day, and listening to Harry Carey and looking the ivy.
Hi, Harry Carey.
Harry Carey.
Yeah.
Wow.
Does
So-
Manny Ramirez look like the Predator monster to you?
Yeah.
Will Ferrell as Harry Carey is one of my favorites.
Oh, it's the best thing ever.
Here's a
that's
big at bat. Bottom 8, Shohei.
No.
Down 2-1.
Shohei.
Oh, thank God, that's off the ball.
Showtime. Anyway, I'm going to continue mine. So, real quick story before I share mine. When I was
Wait,
coaching,
is it
when I was,
Kirk or me? Oh, sorry.
it's
go
me.
ahead.
It's me now.
It's Andy, and then you're going to get 2 in a second.
Snake
I'm
draft.
such a noob.
All right. So when I was coaching junior high football, we had a guy who came and he's played for Southern Miss. He was an offensive lineman. He would come and he would help us do some offensive line work with some of the kids and everything. And we got talking to him one day and we said, "Man, you play at you've played at some big stadiums, some of the big ones. What's the most difficult stadium you've ever played at personally?" And he said, Brian Denny's tough. I'm not going to use Brian Denny here, but because of the aura, I mean, it's Alabama. You go in and you're playing that. Death Valley's tough because of that. But he said, let me tell you the one that hurts on every level when I come home from. When they play at Davis Wade Stadium in Starkville, Mississippi State's stadium with the cowbells.
Really?
He said, "I'm deaf. I can't hear for 3 days after. It's wild how the cowbells really affect you." So I'm going Davis Wade Stadium. It's a shout out to my grandpa. I grew up as a Mississippi State fan. That's the other team that I'm always pulling for as well. Mississippi State, go Dogs. But because of that, it's just an iconic. That whole thing. Also, the jumbotron that is at the Davis Wade Stadium is massive. If you've seen
what
the
stadium?
jumbotron,
Sorry, go ahead.
no, I'm just saying it is a huge one there. But
what stadium I thought he would have said was Kyle Field for Texas A&M.
No, he didn't play at all of them, right? But he's had the privilege to play at a couple of those other ones, and he said Davis Wade was just. I
can imagine.
It's insane with the Cowboys. Now, when I went to high school, I was at Covington High, and Covington High was a cowbell thing, and not nearly to the level of Davis Wade, but that was.
I got a feeling I need more cowbell.
Yeah, Dan says Kirk wins. You're pandering, but it's okay. It's fine. It's okay. It's election season. You can pander all you want. It's fine. All right, all right, folks. You get back-to-back picks here.
Awesome. Yeah, one of my honorable mentions, that's not a Benjamin. I would have said Kyle Fields, A&M is crazy. Florida State is insane too.
Nice.
This other one, we talked about it earlier. I hate them like crazy, but the Red Sox, I've been to Fenway, and let's just say you can't hate it. It's historic. It's beautiful. The Green Monster is so cool to see in person. The behind the scenes of seeing whoever runs the Green Monster scoreboard, and just like it's old, and it just something about it. Even though I'm a Yankee fan, like I said, I hate the Red Sox, but I don't hate Fenway because it's a spectacle, and I think we should cherish the time we have with these old stadiums and get to them when you can, because yes, the new stadiums have the bright lights, the glitz, the glam, the fresh brand new thing, but these old stadiums, something about them, when you go in them, old Yankee, when you went to Fenway or you go to Wrigley or you go to Lambeau or these old stadiums, you get the goosebumps of, man, I am walking where legends walked.
Yeah. So just to be fair, so you picked Fenway Park, right?
Yes.
All right, you get another pick now.
Okay, let's go with NBA. Man, it's the United Center. It's the United Center. When Michael Jordan would come out and you hear Cirrus by Alan Parsons, and then it turns into your Chicago Bulls, and it just thumps. You knew Bulls basketball was on TV or in the arena. You knew you were going to watch exciting basketball with Scottie Pippen and then Michael Jordan. You knew you were going to see some magic on the you knew you were going to see some magic on the basketball court. So that is my other Benjamin.
I use that song for our picture on Instagram.
I know, and I love that song.
Yeah, that's a good pick. That's a good pick.
It actually leads into another song by Alan Parsons. It goes from Cirrus to Eye in the Sky.
Nice.
It stops, and then it goes into Eye in the Sky. I'll have to send you the link. It literally does the whole your Chicago Bulls, and then it stops. And
the
then it starts
Dodgers
back again.
tied it.
Beautiful. Yeah, so those are mine.
All right. I'm going to go MLB with my next pick. This is not even necessarily because of the stadium itself, but where it's located and what happens when home runs are hit. I'm going to AT&T Park in San Francisco to see the kayaks catching the home runs
in the canoe.
Just trying to catch those. It's an iconic scene. And then, we talked about it, a week or two ago, the whole Barry Bonds. I mean, how many balls are just down there in the bottom of the bay, right, or wherever, right there?
Oh yeah,
because of his bombs. It's just crazy. So AT&T Park for that reason alone.
Phenomenal pick.
So
I love that.
You talk about football fields, football stadiums. Saints is obviously not the most iconic because it's just a dome, but it means a lot to us. The Chiefs mean a lot to me, but it is iconic. Old AFC, but the most iconic field in the history of probably ever is Lambeau, the frozen tundra. And that's for Hammy and Son. That was his pick. He's a big Packer fan, but Lambeau Field, the leap, the weather, the fact that the team is owned by the community, right, and it's like right in the center of town, the little small town, Green Bay, Wisconsin, on Lambeau. And then the last one is a field that I've been to, and hopefully my daughter gets a chance to be there. I'm going with Oklahoma City, USA Softball Hall of Fame Stadium. It's where the College Women's World Series is played. We've gone down there for a tournament and got to watch Florida UCLA play, got to watch a couple of those games, and it's a great atmosphere. It was fun. The Hall of Fame for College World Series for college softball is right next to it, so you get to take a tour. That was an iconic stadium for me. It was a once in a lifetime type thing. Well, hopefully not once. But it was like one of those kind of bucket list kind of things. So I'm going to finish my mountain off with the College Women's Stadium.
Nice.
So all right. Am I done or do I get one more?
You get one more after Andy.
So I'm going to go with my last pick, and then it's going to be yours. I'm going to pick one that I've actually played a game on, sort of.
I almost kind of did that. Go ahead.
I sort of did this. I mean, I did. Okay, I'm going to Strawberry Stadium in Hammond, Louisiana, Southeastern. Now, here's why. Let me just give you the quick story. I didn't play a football game at Southeastern. What I did, though, my degree was in PE, so we had a class that we took, and I don't even remember, what class I think it was like exercise physiology. I don't even really know which one it was. I don't remember. But I remember for whatever reason, that day in class, we were going to go play ultimate frisbee. So the stadium wasn't being used. We went on the field, played state, and I'm not even kidding you. It was the best game I've played in my life. I mean, statistically, I was Tom Brady for a day in ultimate frisbee. It was, every dog has his day, right? I was dominating, and I remember mossing my professor. My professor came out and played with ultimate frisbee, and like literally standing up over him like this, like gloating about ultimate frisbee. But I got to play it at Strawberry Field, so it's gone down in the record books as one of the most dominant performances. It's like the Wilt's 100-point game. There was no real proof that it happened, but we all just know that it did because of that picture.
I've never played ultimate frisbee.
That one fateful day in Hammond, Louisiana, they're gonna hang my jersey in the rafters.
They're gonna make a statue outside that soon. They better.
They're talking about renaming it Ricketts.
Mossing your teacher.
That picture. It was like Allen Iverson stepping over Ty Lue. Like it was that what I did to my professor that day. But I dominated, man. I was going crazy. I threw it. I was catching. I was every position. I was Travis Hunter before he even was a twinkle in his parents' eyes. I was a two-way player.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, Strawberry Stadium.
Well, I have actually done some games in that stadium as well, because I went to school there first. That was my first school, is what I meant to say, and I
went there first.
I'm
didn't mean it that way. That's why I changed it. That was the first school I went to of many, and my fraternity did Greek games out on that field, and tug of war and all that stuff. Yeah, and so that's an old stadium, dude. That's an old stadium. Like it's all like concrete.
Yeah, it's like a high school football, like a
rodeo.
It's like a rodeo.
The steps are the same thing, like they're concrete. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Vogs, you got one more and we're done.
Last but not least, I'm not a fan of this team, but you know what? Shout out to my guy Zach's Collections.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
I'm going with the Pittsburgh Steelers and the terrible towels. Man, going into there just seems like it's just a nightmare. Like, as an opponent, you see those fans just go crazy with those towels. They are loud. They are angry. They are Super Bowl champions. They go bananas. Whether the team is good or it sucks, they are dedicated. They go crazy. But
my favorite thing about Heinz Field is how quick it was rebuilt after Bane destroyed it.
Yeah, I know, right, dude? Impressive. It's crazy.
That field we don't even talk about that. I mean, it's like they played on it.
Talk about the destruction of Sept Field in my movies.
We were down to the doctor. Sure, I was born in it.
I was born in this. Ben Roethlisberger ain't got crap on me.
Side note, I don't really like that rendition. I don't think any rendition of Bane has been my favorite.
Dude, I love what's his name as an actor though.
I love Tom Hardy's rendition, man.
It's okay.
Is it gone?
But it's not. It's
not.
Gone? It's not.
Oh, don't tell me. No. Oh my God! I'm sorry. That just makes me mad. A fan reached over to get the ball when Torres. You're gonna have to look, Kirk. Is this a home run? I think it is. Maybe just barely.
This is live reactions on the Rushmore Show.
Oh my gosh.
Zoom in on Kirk. I wanted to see the reaction.
Top of the wall. Wait. No, that's not.
No, that dumb fan. That would have been a stand-up triple.
Well, I mean, he is a Dodger, but he's going to get kicked out of the World Series.
You think so?
Oh yeah, they kick him out for that nowadays.
Do they really kick him out for that? I didn't know
Yeah, if you reach over and catch a ball and interfere with it because of the Bartman thing,
Yeah. Yeah.
they're going to escort him out. Here he goes. Look, let me pack my stuff. Time to leave.
that. I bet his
Yeah.
family's like, no, you can see the guys next to him. They're like, what the f- are you doing?
Yeah. So, anyways, man, great show.
Thank you,
Be on the
guys.
lookout, guys, on our Instagram. I'll be posting our schedule here soon. I'll be posting opportunities for us to have the reboot going again. I would love to get just some other content out there than just our lives. But the video games are coming around, guys. It's been a blast.
Thank
Over
you.
1,000 subscribers
you,
is just
gents.
insane. It's
Thank
insane.
you guys for having me on again. I hope to be
You're
on
always
again in a
welcome.
few
We'll
months.
swing back around during the next set of year. So you don't have to just be on at sports. You can come on at movies, TV, video games, whatever. So man, we're welcome back. And Vogs, tell everybody where they can find you. If they're watching.
First off, again, thank you, Kirk and Andy. You guys are great. You guys have supported me through and through, and you support my friends. We support you back. We're in this together. We're all friends. We all communicate. I love you guys. You guys put on a great show every week. You guys do God's work. I appreciate you guys. You guys can check me out on my channel, Wvogs18. I'm on a bunch of different shows during the week. So
You're
you'll find
closing
me
in on
somewhere.
1,000 too, aren't you?
I think I'm 120 something away from 1,000.
Nice. Let's get him there. Go sub if you haven't done it yet. If you're still the one person in the comments right now who's watching this and you haven't subbed, go check. Well, I think that one person is you, Vogs. So sorry.
Yeah, I didn't.
But if you're watching this later and you've gotten to this part, go sub Vogs, give him some love, and let's help him get that 1K for sure.
They intentionally walked soda.
Yeah, they did. Much love, everyone.
All right.
Much love.
Yeah. So 865 you're at, Vogs.
Yep.
So, anyways, well, it's time to go to bed. Cannon's got his playoff game tomorrow.
Kirk.
He's also got his first basketball practice tomorrow, and Carson's got her first tournament with her new team this weekend. And I am not feeling well, so I need to go get some sleep. But Andy, it's time to tell everybody good night. And
I'll see you guys in about 3 weeks now. So I'll be off.
Safe travels, Andy. Feel better, Kirk.
Appreciate it. We'll see you guys when we see you. So, hey, let's say goodnight like we always do. This is the Rushmore Show, where it's all about your top four.
Oh,
and nothing more.
Peace.